have Ben from Vantage. How are you, Ben?
I'm doing great. Good to see you. Good to meet you in person.
Yeah, yeah. It's always the best thing for the conference to be able to put faces and legs to people, because we be able to meet each other, right?
Yep.
And wanted to chat about the AI thing. It's been like the most commented topic in the whole conference. So, from your perspective, like, what are the most useful AI features that has been developed for FinOps, and how you guys are implemented there in Vantage?
So we launched our MCP about a year ago, and customers want to be able to access cost data through that MCP, have that cost data live in other sources of truth. And so that is just one area where I feel like the expectation from a FinOps vendor a couple of years ago is we want to have a set of dashboards, we want to have an API. That new world is now all around MCP and just making sure that there's support there. The other aspect is around agentic workflows and just making sure that as customers are leveraging more agents in their environment, making sure that they can kind of like level up their autonomous workflows, that they have an agent that can be supported for their organization. And so increasingly, as part of what customers are asking us for, they're asking for, do you have agents that can actually root cause anomalies? Do you have agents that can actually open pull requests? Do you have agents that can actually pull our associated cloud spend across all these different providers? And so the main things that are top of mind right now are making sure that you have support for MCP, just kind of like a table stakes set of features and functionality. What is your agent story, and how can we actually leverage these agents? And then on top of all of that, kind of to state the obvious in the room, is that there's kind of a whole Cambrian explosion happening of new AI providers and driving those associated costs. So do you support OpenAI costs? Do you support Anthropic costs? What level of granularity can we get? And so the AI for FinOps story, but also FinOps for AI. But those are kind of like the big topics that we are hearing from our customer base right now.
Yeah, that's good. There's a lot of things going on, so definitely a lot of inputs that you're receiving, right?
Yep.
And we've been here for a few days in the conference. We had the keynote the first day when they announced all the Tokenomics Foundation thing and all the changes going on in the space and the importance that that's getting. So what's your thought on the tokenomics thing?
Yeah, this has been like one of the bigger discussions that's happened just around the conference and amongst the governing board, and JR had the announcement with it being a new foundation. I mean, I think the thing that's indisputable is the number one thing that people are talking about and is real is our organization is using a tremendous amount of providers in the AI world. What is our story for how we measure these costs? Because they are becoming such a large portion of things that impact costs of goods sold, how they impact our overall budget of the organization. And so I think it's very timely to have a foundation that is, supporting all of these things. I think like the main topic of conversation right now is like, isn't that just part of FinOps, or should it be this whole new foundation? And I think we had the governing board lunch earlier today, and JR's stance was like, look, this is a big enough thing that's being discussed by practitioners and customers. And so I think he put his best foot forward on like, there should be a devoted investment in that accordingly. And from our perspective, nothing's changing. And I think it deserves the attention in the room for having the conversation, whether it be part of the FinOps Foundation or the Tokenomics Foundation. But the customer need is like indisputable, right? Like these are providers that are driving some of the largest set of costs, that we've seen outside of like hyperscalers or cloud service providers like Datadog or Snowflake or Databricks. Like their revenue has eclipsed. So I think it's great that it's getting attention. I think it's great that there's an initial at bat with a new foundation, and then we're all going to kind of learn together on like what is the right level of investment or time that you allocate to FinOps Foundation or Tokenomics Foundation, or how customers even think about it themselves.
Yeah, that's cool. And I wanted to follow up on the customer thing. So what are your, with these announcements, I know it's too soon, but what are your plans to help and support the customers with the tokens thing?
As I mentioned, like Vantage has been investing in
Yeah.
AI before I think it was like even a formal story. So we launched our MCP over a year ago. We launched our FinOps agent in like late last year, and there's one thing to have MCP support, and there's one thing to have an agent, and then there's a whole suite of functionality for, do you have the tools available to all of these agents in terms of their ability to get data from all of the APIs that are available through a vendor? And thankfully, Vantage has invested in all of those APIs and our ability to import and export data like pretty consistently. The new thing that's happening right now is there are a lot more providers that people have an expectation that we're supporting. So Vantage today has support for 30 different providers, but we're getting asks for, we need support for Neoclouds for GPU training or inference, or we need support for inference providers that have a fresh new set of billing APIs. And then on the other side of that is our customers are increasingly wanting to use Vantage through an LLM or through agent-based workflows. And that's like a net new thing. So we've restructured our company to ensure that every single employee, not just in engineering, is leveraging AI to like map that to our customer base. And then the consistent thing that we've done since the beginning of the company is we listen to customers, we understand, what are your new use cases in this new world? How can we help? And I feel like we've never had more feedback from customers on here's our new set of use cases, here's how we're trying to account and allocate these costs, how we're actually trying to budget on a per developer basis. But it'll be funny to look back on this interview in like a year or two from now, because I'm sure it'll be like, oh, remember when it was like that early and we were all kind of like figuring it out. So it feels like where FinOps was, 5 to 10 years ago, tokenomics and managing token costs is now, in 2026, kind of the timely thing.
Yeah, that's true. And I think there is a lot of changes going on, and the feeling that I got from talking with practitioners and everything is like everyone is trying to figure it out.
Yep.
So like as advanced that you can get, the better, because people are trying to figure it out. Like, yeah, let's get visibility first. They're like, I feel like we are in the same situation than on FinOps than before, that we were like trying to first get visibility on what the hell is going on, then move to operational things and try to remediate, and now try to be more advanced. I think on AI we are in the same spot, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think like to use a crude analogy, I think AWS EC2 instances, there was this everyone was like, you don't want to miss using public cloud, and you adopt public cloud and use whatever you can relative to like having on-prem. I think the new EC2 instance is a model now, and it's like, hey, we don't want to be left behind with AI. There's a new model that launched. What are the specs? What's the price performance? And people are starting to kind of get they're getting used to having these new things launch, evaluate it from a cost perspective, and then put in the governance or guardrails for their organization. That's like, is this efficient? Is it not? How do we budget for this? Things along those lines.
Yeah, that's true. And one question that, because you bring a good important thing, is like, same as with EC2 instances where you made this comparison and you have all the versions and all the updates. With models, it happens the same, and with AI, it happens the same. There is a new update every month, every few weeks, depending on the provider that you're checking. So how are you trying to keep up or be ahead of these modifications? So how are you trying in Vantage to hit that?
Yeah, so there's our perspective historically has been, we want to make sure that we are as fully encompassing of all of your costs wherever you have workloads run, right? And so historically what that's meant is, we'll integrate with like in AWS or in Azure, even like, OpenAI and Anthropic directly. However, where the market is coalescing now is that everyone is standardizing on just going through an AI gateway.
Yeah.
And so names like OpenRouter, LiteLLM, or Cloudflare AI Gateway. And the benefit to the customer here is they can have a single interface where they're proxying all of their requests on a per model basis. And the nice thing is when a new model comes out, all of those AI gateways will obviously be incentivized to make sure that model is available. And then from the Vantage perspective, the way that we're approaching this is we want to make sure that we integrate with all of the material AI gateways. And the benefit there is we can see all of the input and output tokens for those AI gateways. We can work with customers to help them allocate that accordingly. And so that's our stance and view. And the benefit there is like these frontier model companies are going to be releasing models left and right. And, we can kind of just take a stance on if we integrate at the gateway level, then that's okay. And it'll, everyone's going to do what they're going to do. But we want to make sure that we help customers understand here's your costs allocated by team or business unit or agent or function. And the best way to capture that is kind of integrating
in the gateway. Yeah,
exactly.
I've been getting that info as well because I think for enterprise, especially like if you have to deal with the cloud, the new model, and then if you can put a gateway, especially because of security reasons as well, and for measuring usage and being able to correctly allocate, I think it makes it easier both for the enterprise, for you guys, like for everyone. The gateways have been very, very helpful.
Yep. Exactly.
And want to ask about because there is a lot of news in the in the FinOps X. We have the Tokenomics launch, and we have a lot of updates like from the AWS, from GCP, and a lot. But what's been your big move on this one for Vantage?
What our big launch for? Yeah, so we are launching something net new this week for Vantage customers, but we believe also in industry that we're very excited about. Mm-hmm. The name of the product is called Canvas, and what Canvas aims to serve is that what we are hearing is that customers have a whole bunch of data, and they want to customize how that data is presented. It's coming from multiple different data sources. In certain cases, this isn't always cost data, and they don't want to maintain they don't want to have to maintain structuring complicated SQL or logic for actually maintaining that report or dashboard. And so how Canvas works is our customers can create a report by just writing a prompt. So that prompt might be, hey, Canvas, make me a report for my top developers by token usage on Cursor, pull in their associated Jira or issues or linear issues that they closed, and then tell me, what are my top developers from a cost efficiency perspective. And what Canvas will do, it's an AI native product. It will go and source all of that data. It will interpret your prompt, and it will actually create a report that you can save. And as often as that data refreshes, it will update that report. And then you don't have to worry about the maintenance. You don't have to worry about actually the granularity of figuring out all the specific cost codes. And it's a bit of a magic, but you have a report that your organization can use for tracking accountability. So customers are using this for all sorts of things. The hot thing right now is tracking token efficiency. Certain customers are bringing in top line business metrics for being able to view gross margin or overall margin, but there's a number of different things that this unlocks, and so we're really excited about this launch just being generally available.
No, that's cool. I think it will be really helpful, and I also think because one of the major things that we've seen is from data perspective is you have a lot of data going on, and you don't know what does it mean or how you can interpret it, how you can get insights. And now if you put that as an access to be able to create a report from just a single prompt, I think it will be very helpful, right?
Exactly. And our customers also are pushing us in a great way for adding more of these adapters, and the adapter is MCP. And so customers are asking hey, can I integrate our Datadog MCP and be able to view utilization data with the cost data and make right sizing recommendations based upon that, or revenue systems like Stripe or AWS Marketplace or wherever they're actually getting their kind of billing source of truth done. And so the nice thing about MCP is that it just gives a common interface for being able to get this data in. And there's a lot of interesting use cases that can just be unlocked from that perspective.
No, that's really cool, and I think it will be very helpful for customers. So that's a good launch, and I'm assuming there is a lot of months of work on the product to make that happen, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's something that came from a customer request, and then we prioritized it, and then it was such an interesting project for that customer that we were this is something that should just be generally available. And so we were able to line it up with FinOps X this week, and it's been a hit for how customers are actually already using it this week.
No, that's cool. That's cool that you get also good feedback and
Yeah.
very quick feedback because you get to meet a lot of customers
Yep.
already.
Exactly. We'll do it live, It's like that mentality. So yeah, it's good.
That's good. That's good. That's good. And wanted to move on a bit more about the on the thoughts topic because there's a lot of things going on in FinOps X. There's a lot of you're launching new things, so all the companies are doing a lot of things, and especially like you guys. And wanted to ask you because from a CEO perspective, it's very difficult to know like what to do next, what's the good next step. So I wanted to ask you like a more fun question, which is like, from all the things that are going on, what's the one thing that keeps you up at night on these days?
The one thing that keeps me up at night, I think, to be honest, I think it's very exciting how much is changing right now with AI. And I know that's like such a cliche to say, but I, as a product person, I've been very like excited about how much our customers are demanding from us, where it's like, I will go on record and say things were getting a little bit sterile, where it was all the same conversations, all the same things and AI has just presented this new world of a whole set of new use cases. It's prioritized things that are very clearly in the developer flow. I think the thing that worries me is like how quickly the space is changing and our ability to make sure that we are continuing to iterate at Vantage pace for being able to serve those customers. And so I talk about internally at the company our execution run rate, in addition to like our revenue run rate. And I just want to make sure that our execution run rate is, matching what the market is expecting, because everything is heightened with AI. You can move a lot faster, but with that, you're getting customer feedback at a much more rapid pace. And so from our perspective, we're hearing things every single day in terms of what our customers want, and then we are prioritizing and shipping that kind of as quickly as we can. I think that's like probably the biggest thing that keeps me up is like, can we continue to move at the pace that the market is demanding for how much there is to do in light of this big shift? But that would be my answer.
No, that's a good honest answer.
What's keeping you up at night?
Well, a lot of things. Being here, it's jet lag. It keeps me up at night.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good answer. Yeah,
that's a lot of things. No, but I value a lot the answer because there's a lot of things, and also what you mentioned is the pace. Like keeping the pace these days is very, very difficult, because there's a lot of push from the industry. I think also like a lot of noise, like because there is new things, and what's the important thing, like what's the prio, and what's the next move, like thinking about, because for making things like, for example, your canvas is like, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of things, and you need to commit to that, right?
Yep, exactly.
That's cool, and it's cool that your focus is the customer has always been like.
Yes, it has been. I am more excited than ever about some of the stuff that's going on at this point, and there's definitely some momentum in the market, which is exciting as well. And I think you feel that at FinOps X, especially relative to last year, where there's just more people, more conversations. The expo floor is rampant with people asking questions in a great way, and I've been in a conference room for the majority of the conference, just speaking with people as well. So it's like it's a much busier conference in a good way that I think is like emblematic of what's happening in the market.
Yeah. I think the market is getting busy, and we'll see like how it will be next year with the Tokenomics and everything going.
We're gonna find out. We'll see if we're at this conference or the Tokenomics conference or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it will happen. So hopefully we can meet next year as well, and we can have the same chat.
Yeah.
So thanks for taking the time today. I think it was helpful. We'll leave all the links in the description so people can check more about the work that you guys do, Canvas and everything.
Perfect.
And thanks for taking the time.
No, thank you for having me. It's good to meet live and catch up in person. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for watching it today, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.